Okay, let's first set up our L-sit position. So we want to learn those foundations. We want to start in a very beginner position where it's really good for all levels, and then we can just build upon it with harder progressions. So I'm going to start in this position so my knees are higher than my hip crease. So that means that the knee here is up here higher than that. It's not down there. We want to be in this positive position in that direction as much as possible. If needed, I can have toe assist. Now I'm using these IKEA steps. You could use boxes, you could use P-bars. Yoga blocks can work as well, but you'll need a stack of them because you'll be too close to the floor if not, especially for these beginner variations when we're more in a tuck position. Now my hands are externally rotated and my arms are pulled into my torso. So I'm in this position. So light toe assist if you need it, but ideally we go to this position, we lift the feet up. Now this should be quite comfortable. We want to feel that we can open the chest up and keep the shoulders back and down. We don't want to be in a collapsed position with the shoulders. So we want to bring the shoulders back and down like this. So that support position, be very strong and open in the chest. Again, that external rotation is going to help that. Internal rotation makes us collapse. External rotation opens us up and normally creates a stronger position. Now before we start opening out to harder variations of the L-sit, we first need to do a flexibility test. Can you sit on the floor with straight legs, a flat back? If you're rounded in this position, you're going to really struggle to get into that same straight-legged setup for your L-sit. So be realistic with your flexibility. If this is a struggle for you, you're probably going to need to bend the knees slightly in your L-sit hold. So maintaining that strong torso position and then just try and straighten the legs as much as you can and try and still keep the knees higher than the hip crease. What we don't want is this. So we don't want to go down there and be collapsing through that position. So pick one of the L-sit progressions that you can comfortably hold for 10 seconds, and then we're just going to work on our straight arm entries to that L-sit. So to start with, I'm just going to line my toes up with my fingers. I'm going to externally rotate the hands again. I'm going to push up and away as high as I can. So I'm pushing down into the floor with the boxes, maintaining straight arms, rounding the upper back a little bit. And then from this position, I'm just seeing if I can enter the L-sit. So that was toes in line with fingers. If I could do that okay, I'm just going to take a step backwards. So now I'm more at the back of the step. Exactly the same setup. Round the upper back, a bit more of protraction, so rounding that scapular position. Shouldn't see any shoulder blades sticking out. And then from there, bring the knees to the chest, come through to your L-sit again. Okay, now we have those two starting positions. So I start with my feet in line with my fingers, or I have my feet back here at the back of the box. We was doing the eccentric, so lowering down into the L-sit. Let's see if we can do the concentric, so going back to those positions. So first of all, toes in line with the fingers, protract, go into that L-sit, then see if you can get back to that position again. If you pass that test, move the feet to the back, protract, nice strong position, through to your L-sit. So if you can get back to the same starting position. Next level, I'm going to raise the feet up the same height as the hands. So I'm in this position here. Now I'm going to try and get into the straight arm protracted position. Same thing, but see if you can float the toes off, come through into your L-sit. Now we'll try the concentric. Back up. Now that's going to be much, much harder. Notice that I didn't talk as I came back through, and trying to get the hip up into that position is arguably harder than a press handstand. So if you do struggle with that one, just work on the eccentric, the top box position, going down as slow as possible. Next, instead of the toes on the box, we'll go into an actual planche position. So same arm position, same hand position. I'm going to round the upper back. I'm going to come into my tuck planche position. So there, then I'm going to come through to my L-sit. Same again, can you do the concentric? Back up to that position. Now in some ways I find that easier than trying to get the feet onto the box, and it's more from a lack of space coming that way. I have to really tuck the legs up, which I find harder than actually pulling into a planche position. Now if you don't have a planche to use in that movement, you could go into a crane. So straight arms, knees on the back of the arms, and then come through. That's going to be pretty hard to get back unless you can planche, but you can probably definitely do the eccentric if you have a strong crane. If crane's out of the question, we'll break the straight arm rules and go into a bent arm position. So the froggy crow position, same thing, come through, L-sit and back. Or we could fully embrace the bent arm position and go into a trusty shoulder stand, either bent legs or straight legs, and then come through to your L-sit. And obviously concentric might be available, but just be careful not to backsplat with that one. Another option, if you want to stay with the straight arm version, is to use your toes on something. So make another box or use a skateboard on a mat at the back here, and then you can get into your planche-like position with toe assist. So there, rounding that upper back, and then come through to the L-sit. So that's a quick L-sit to planche tutorial. Obviously you need a strong L-sit and a strong planche to do the full version. If you have a stronger planche than the tuck, you can open it out like this. Let me know if you have any questions or video requests down in the comments. If you're after coaching, check out my app and my website. Link is down in the description. And me and Rosie will see you in the next one.